What's up, dudes? So I'm waiting for my coffee to get done and my computer to get up, and I started thinking about spirit might show someone like total validation that this is a magical experience. This is really happening. This person really has the gift. Whatever it is, something like that. Somebody might have a miracle unfold for them. So if you are a starseed, if you are a light worker, if you're going through a brutal spiritual awakening, anything like that, you may find, now get this, your own personal work from a long time ago, which was very profound when you did it, is going to unfold for you now, and it is going to be so much bigger and more profound, and you are going to realize you are part of this thing, this miracle, and Spirit has healed you with your own work. That's the power of creativity. That's how powerful of a light worker you are. And Spirit is asking you to accept the mission. You may be seeing really magical stuff. We have a bunch of people who have to surrender. So remember, surrender means when you say, okay, I may have been willing to believe something one way my whole life. It's the way I was raised. If I critically think about it and take a step back, it does seem kind of weird, and some things I just automatically believed. I may have fallen into some roles where I was unable to respect my own self the way I should have and other people should have, due to some form of trauma, abuse, something like that. Situation, something like that. It may have been systematic over and over and over and over again. And somehow you got trained to believe you are not loving or lovable. So Spirit is showing you in this wonderful, magical way. And if you understand what's going on, it's not so terrifying. And it flips to become magical and cool. That you have been chosen, if you will. I don't usually use that word so much because it sounds kind of stuck up. But there's a lot of people who have been chosen to have this experience in this life. And Spirit is separating the wheat from the chaff. And you have become part of the chosen people who have been able to experience this thing called the awakening. And now you're going to spend the rest of your life in tandem with Spirit, doing little sprinkles of glitter all over your day. I call them miracles. Amazing coincidences. You're going to stop saying, what a weird coincidence. Yeah, isn't that kind of weird? And start saying, thank you, Spirit. Thank you, Spirit. I accept it. Can I have more? Thank you. Because the universe will listen to you. But if you can't get out of your own way and allow this to really be happening, and that is part of the surrender. The surrender is saying, okay, this is really happening. This is really happening. I can live this magical way. I was so wounded before, I couldn't see it. My filter was all fucked up. But Spirit came in and sent me on this experience, which is brutal. It's brutal. But it's beautiful at the same time. Awesome, if you will. Not like radical dude, awesome. Like dictionary definition, full of awe. Miracles just constantly unfolding. You're tuned in. So when you understand that, it becomes exciting and fun. And then you realize you got chosen to experience this because you are loving and lovable. And you have some form of destiny that's been activated. There will be other people who can't understand and haven't had this experience and are not going to be chosen in this lifetime to experience this because they're not ready, clearly. They will make fun of whatever you're talking about doing. Your light irritates their demon that has clung on to them and kept them down in lower vibrations. You have done the work and changed vibrations. And when you change vibrations, it works kind of like a magnet on a fridge. So you have all these like trauma demons stuck to you, and then you change vibrations, and their magnet doesn't work anymore. They just fall off. And you start feeling better. But the people who aren't doing the work or can't comprehend it, knowledge is the key to freedom, they will constantly have those lower vibrational things on them that make them see everything through a fucked up filter. So a bunch of people are surrendering, which is wonderful. So let's surrender for a minute. I'm gonna go get my coffee. Okay, darlings, we're back at the lake. Get ready. Very moody. Black and white. Rainy day at the lake. Can you picture it? Can you picture it? Very moody. Black and white. Rainy day at the lake. Do you see it, darling? Do you see it? Oh my fucking god, this wheel is stuck on my skirt. Back to the black and white. Do you see it? There we are, dear. Fully immersed in our memories of our past life. Down by the lake. That stormy night. We could see the glow from the party over at the Olsons. Remember, we jetted back on our boat across the lake. We got back right before the downpour came. Then we made love and fell asleep in each other's arms. Blue skies smiling the next day. Were you there, darlings? Black and white, very moody, down at the lake after the party, before the storm. Yeah, cheers. Here's how I like my coffee. You want to see it? So now that we've all lost a couple demon magnets, let's talk about an experience I had with my father. So my father ended up passing from a disease called pulmonary fibrosis, idiopathic pulmonary fibrosis. And so what that was his lungs started scarring over and going in like a scarred honeycomb pattern, and his oxygen intake would get shorter and shorter, and it's a terminal disease. So my dad knew that he was going to pass, and we were sitting around. They were still running the Renaissance Festival. My dad wasn't going out there, but he was still part of everything. And he said to my mother and myself, I have a really old memory from when I was a little boy of my dad showing me a fireman badge in his hand. And I can't remember, and I don't know if my dad said, I'm the fire chief. And he said, I want to know if my dad, who was a barber, if he really was a fire chief or a fire person in Lakeville when I was a little boy. I want to drive out to the Historical Society and go see if we can find anything. My mom and I were like, we're totally there! Like, we love that kind of stuff, ancestry, all that kind of stuff. We said, yes, let's do it. So we did it, just spur of the moment. And then we drove out there. There was like senior citizens that were volunteers. We told them what was going on, and they were totally excited. And they said they didn't have any fire records because that was at the fire department. But they did have some high school yearbooks where my dad was it looked like a ring bearer for the homecoming or the prom. I think it was homecoming, must have been. King and queen. And so it was really rad. This old picture of the whole high school court, and then my dad is a little boy standing there with a satin pillow with the crown on it. And so they took that out. I got to see my dad's elementary school pictures, which were totally rad and super cute. And this just fell in my lap. Saw some elementary school pictures of him. And then they said, well, here's the directions on how to get to the fire department. It was like bigger than a fire department. It was like the fire archives too. And they said, we'll call ahead and we'll tell them that you're coming. These people were so amazing. They were so cool. I see that meme in my mind's eye that's like, if you want to solve world problems, put a librarian on the job. So we ended up going over to the fireplace, and the two women that were working in the office, the way the office was set up, it was like a square, and then that had like a little half wall thing, and one lady's desk was here and one lady's desk was here, and then the whole counter was here. And way in the corner in the back, when we walked in, they were talking to my dad. They had all these old rosters pulled out and stuff, and they were looking for the name Spillane. And then they said they had lost a bunch of stuff in a flood or something like that. I can't remember what it was. And the whole time, my eyes, so for example, maybe like see that sign, how you can see it, you don't really know what it is. My eyes kept getting drawn to this framed picture, and it was like it looked like older vintage antique over in the corner, and the ladies were just talking to my mom and dad, and I kept like focusing on this thing, and then all of a sudden I just blurted out, can I come into your workspace and look at that picture? And I said, yeah. And I walked into their workspace, went into the back corner, and they said, oh, it's our old antique fire truck. We still have it. We use it at parades and stuff. We don't really know anything about the picture though. And I looked, and it was the fire truck. And it said, homecoming, I believe it was class of 53, a sign on the side. You can see some people kind of sitting on the back of the fire truck, some like students, the homecoming court probably. But the picture was clearly getting taken of the man sitting in the passenger side of the fire truck with the window down during the parade. And I looked, and he had a suit on. And I had never met my grandpa. He died before I was born, but I had seen pictures of him. And I said, Dad, I think I see your dad. I think that's him. And my dad had a cane at the time. And he cane walked as fast as he could. He was back in his inner child. And he went and he looked. And he turned around, and my mom and me and the two women were like, and he said, that's him. That's my dad in the fire truck. It was real. And that was the best gift I was able to give my dad. Spiritually, I believe everybody was astonished. One of the ladies was like, I love this. This is so cool. And the other lady like immediately got scared of me and wouldn't look at me anymore. I was drawn to it. And it was probably my guides, which could very well have been his dad. He said, little one, look at this, look at this, look at this. So I was able to listen to my intuition. I wasn't afraid to make a fool of myself or to speak up. And these women had all these rosters out, so they were clearly friendly and ready to, let us into their energy. And thank God I did. And I caught some pictures after it. And I'll find the pictures and I'll tack them on at the end here. And so it was really special. So somebody might get into some kind of ancestry, something like that. Somebody may seek total validation and instantly become a believer of something. And a whole bunch of people are going to surrender. That's it. Remember? This is really happening. This magical existence. If you accept it, you can live this way for the rest of your life. Co-creating with spirit. And like I say, don't drive yourself crazy trying to figure out the question mark of spirit. We're not there yet as a human race. It will drive you crazy. Just appreciate the blessings that you can get every day. And I call them glitter through your day. Look at those number synchronicities again. It's your guides unfolding this magical existence for you. And you may be lucky enough that you created some form of art or entertainment or did something. Remember, athletics and tech is also part of art and entertainment, the oldest form of healing. Acting, dancing, music, all of whatever falls under art and entertainment. Serious light workers. So watch for your own work to make you feel better and then say, thank you, Spirit. So as a guide, I'm saying, try doing a practice. If you want to try doing some work, as in co-creating with the universe and putting out there what you want, stop saying, isn't that weird? What a coincidence. You can say it, but follow it up with thank you, Spirit. Thank you, universe. Thank you, my guides. And start acknowledging it for what it is. It's a gift. And you are loving and lovable enough. And this magical way of living really exists. And you got chosen to live this way. How lucky you are. So you are never forgotten. If you had a harsh past, a harsh experience, serious light workers aren't people who just coast through life. No, you have to have felt the slam of the Super Bowl to be able to bounce up that high into the light. And that slam, I hear it this way, transcends all races, all social statuses, how rich or poor anybody is. Spirit doesn't care at all about any of that. Spirit cares about your destiny and your ability to comprehend. And a lot of people are lucky enough that they are going to find enlightenment in this lifetime, where that means you can co-create with Spirit. So surrender! Get out of your own way! All right, there's the message. All right, what's the final message? What's the final? Ooh. Next message. Okay, there's two distinct messages. Oh, there's three distinct messages. Okay, there's one more. This one jumped on top of here, so let's see what this is. And final message. All right. I'll include the pictures here now, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about.